Frightening, isn't it? Hello, I'm Dr. Simon Young. I'm the Director of the Emergency Department here at the Royal Children's Hospital. Each year we treat hundreds of children who have been in accidents. About a third of them are car accidents. And the vehicles involved range from small cars right through to large four-wheel drives. Too many deaths, too many injuries, and too many children who shouldn't have to come to hospital. Then who can help keep your child safe? More than anybody else, you can. By driving carefully and using the right restraint properly, you can give your child the best protection available if the worst happens to you. So, let's begin at the beginning.
As your baby grows to childhood and becomes an adult, everything changes, and so does the kind of child restraint you'll need. This guide includes many of them. You'll also find them described in the publication from VICROADS, Choosing and Using Child Restraints and Booster Seats. If you need more advice, you'll find contact details for VICROADS, for restraint fitting stations, and for others who can help by clicking on More Help. And one other thing, the restraints you'll see here do save lives and help prevent injuries. They are so effective that it's illegal not to use them for children aged 0 to under 7 years. If your child is not properly protected, not only is he or she in danger, but you may be fined and lose demerit points. Ready to go? Click on Play All, or the section which applies to your child. You're having a baby. You think that a seatbelt might harm your unborn child. A lot of people think that, but it's not true. A properly worn seatbelt is the best protection your unborn baby can have. When you wear the lap belt across your lap, below your tummy, with the sash between your breasts. No matter how soon you will be giving birth, unless you have a medical certificate, the law says you must wear a seatbelt, because both you and your baby will be safer. And while you've been preparing for your baby, how about your car? Since the mid-70s, most cars have had restraint anchor points placed where you'll need them. If not, you can fit them yourself or have them fitted professionally. Everything you need to know is in your child restraint and booster seat instruction booklet. But if you're in any doubt, go to an RACV restraint fitting station. There will be a charge and you will need to make an appointment, so phone first. You'll find contact details in the More Help section of this DVD. Which restraint? As you'll see, that firstly depends on how old your child is, and secondly on how much your baby or child weighs. But there are two general rules. One is that the back seat is always safer than the front. So no matter how old your child is, the back is the best spot. In fact, Victoria's road rules say that children under age 4 must travel in the back seat. Don't move your child into the next restraint or booster seat until they reach the maximum weight limit of the restraint they're in. While children always like to seem older than they are, it's not the safest thing for them, and what's more, it may not be legal. Victoria's child restraint laws are based on detailed research. These laws give you plenty of guidance about which restraint children should use, and if followed properly, will increase the safety of your child. Until now, parents and carers have chosen child restraints and booster seats using their child's weight as a guide. Many school-aged children, even as young as 5 years old, believed they were too grown up to use a booster seat. And many parents believed it was safe for small children to use a seatbelt on its own. Seatbelts are designed for adult males and not for small children, who are much safer in purpose-designed child restraints and booster seats. Children need to be around 140 centimetres tall before an adult seatbelt is the best means of restraining them. Under the law, your child's age determines which child restraint or booster seat you should use, and also whereabouts in your car your child may travel. No child under 4 may travel in the front seat if there is a back seat. Children aged between 4 and under 7 may only travel in the front seat if all the seats in the back are occupied also by children under 7. This is what the law says. Babies up to 6 months of age must use a rearward-facing child restraint. Children over 6 months until they reach 4 years of age must use either a rearward-facing child restraint or a forward-facing child restraint with an inbuilt harness. Children aged 4 years to under 7 must use either a forward-facing child restraint with an inbuilt harness or a properly positioned booster seat with a seat belt. No matter which restraint is used, it must be properly fitted to the car and properly fastened and adjusted on every journey. So, which child restraint is the one for your new baby? The law says babies up to the age of 6 months must use a properly fastened and adjusted rearward-facing approved child restraint. Rearward-facing child restraints can be used either to 9 kilos or 12 kilos, depending on the restraint you purchase or hire. They come in 2 basic types: those that only face to the rear and the convertibles. Convertible means it can be used in the rearward-facing position up to 9 or 12 kilos, depending on the restraint, and then turned around to be used as a forward-facing child restraint up to 18 kilos, approximately 4 years. Why do child restraints for infants face the rear? They allow your baby to lie down, and if there's a crash, they support your baby's head and back. Why is that so important? It is because, compared to the rest of the body, a baby's head is where most of the weight is. If not supported, even in a low-speed crash, head and neck injuries can be serious, even fatal. So rearward facing is safest. Before you buy or rent a child restraint for an infant, what should you consider? Will it fit your vehicle? Check especially convertible restraints when they're in the rear-facing position. Will front seat passengers be comfortable when the restraint is being used? Or will they be too close to the dashboard? Is there enough room in the car for you to lift the baby in and out easily? The restraint will be held in place by a seat belt, so make sure it's long enough. Think how often you'll need to move the restraint from one person's car to another. Are there too many things you have to do to make sure it's fitted and adjusted properly? How do you adjust the harness to fit your growing baby? For shoulder straps, use the slots that are level with or slightly above your baby's shoulders, not below the height of the shoulders. The manufacturer's instructions will tell you how to make the adjustment. If your baby has reached the upper weight limit on your rearward-facing child restraint before reaching the age of 6 months, the law will allow you to use a forward-facing approved child restraint that has an inbuilt harness, but you should check with your maternal and child health nurse before taking the step. When using a rearward-facing child restraint, babies can be injured if they're wearing more than one nappy, or if the nappy is thickly folded at the back because the baby's back will not be evenly supported. Rearward facing is safest, so face your baby that way for as long as possible. Child restraints for infants should not be used where seats face backwards or sideways. If using a rug, place it over your baby after everything else has been fastened. How tight does an inbuilt harness need to be? Snug is good. The fit should be firm. Allow 2 fingers between your baby's body and the harness straps. The new law recognises that children grow at different rates between the age of 6 months and 4 years. This is why it says a child may use either